is God's very first promise in the Bible. Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. From now on, you and the woman will be enemies, as will your offspring and hers. You will bite his heel, but he will crush your head. A lot of pronouns. Let's remind ourselves of the players. God is the one who is speaking, and he is talking to the serpent who deceived Adam and Eve at the tree in the garden. Of course, the Bible later identifies the serpent as Satan, God's avowed enemy. So, right after Satan succeeded in getting Adam and Eve to join him in rebellion against God, God made a stunning promise. He promised that he would cause Satan and humanity to be enemies. And he also promised that Satan would eventually, he promised that he would cause Satan and humanity to be enemies. And he also promised Satan that he would eventually be crushed. You will bite his heel. The he in the reference is Jesus, and foreshadows the pain and suffering that Satan was going to cause Christ during his life and death. God continues, but he will crush your head. God promises that the pain and suffering Jesus endures would be nothing compared to the final victory, when he would crush Satan and destroy him once and for all. That's the very first promise in the Bible. Did you hear an echo of it in our reading from Romans 16 just now? Verse 20. The God of peace will soon crush Satan under your feet. And do you find it ironic that Paul describes God as a peaceful God in the same sentence where he mentions God crushing Satan out of existence? How could Paul link God's peaceful spirit with his promise to crush Satan? How can someone who is committed to peace crush another? Doesn't that seem like a violation of peace? Or is it? Even if we think there's a contradiction between these two ideas, there are many Christians who seem to be quite comfortable with allowing God to harbor both character traits. Perhaps you've even thought of it that way yourself. That while God is normally a God of peace, the day will come when he's fed up with Satan, and that's when the crushing will occur. Is that how it works? Are you satisfied with that answer? If we're not satisfied with it, is it possible that Paul was mistaken? Perhaps the God of peace wouldn't crush Satan. But then, what of the very first promise in the Bible? Doesn't God always keep his promises? How can God be both a God of peace and of destruction? Notice what Paul has been admonishing the recipients of this letter to do immediately before this verse. In verse 17, he says, stay away from people who stir up trouble and cause division. In verse 18, he says, beware of smooth talk and flattery. In verse 19, he says, be wise when it comes to doing good and keep yourself away from evil. Summing up these points. First, avoid troublemakers and flattery. And 2, be wise and shun evil. Again, avoid troublemakers and flattery, and be wise and shun evil. But then, in the following verse, Paul says, and the God of peace will soon crush Satan under your feet. Aren't we a little familiar with conflict and flattery and carelessness? Those are some of the main tools in Satan's little bag of tricks, and he loves to find the opportunity to use them, not only outside, but even in the church. Unfortunately, even well-intentioned people in the church fall prey to these sins. And when that happens, Satan finds a ready setting to stir up mischief among God's people. Wherever we foster an environment of conflict, of flattery, of carelessness, Satan can thrive. On the other hand, when God's people choose to shun these offenses, the environment changes. When they deal with conflict in a healthy way, instead of letting it divide them. When they avoid flattery and other forms of gossip and harmful talk. When they become more thoughtful and intentional about their actions. And when they seek to always do the right thing. Peace begins to flourish in the community. And this literally shuts down Satan's best avenue of wreaking havoc, both outside and inside the church. When believers choose peace, there's nothing Satan can accomplish. In other words, it is peace that crushes evil thoughts and deeds. When evil encounters people determined to live in peace, its power is taken away. It can't exist in an environment where peace reigns. It can't cause division when conflicts aren't allowed to fester and cause wounds or tear relationships apart when people refuse to gossip. It can't so easily lead people to commit transgressions when there is a commitment to be careful in thought and purposeful in action. Peace deals a crushing blow to everything Satan wants to accomplish. In his letter, Paul instructs the way that kindness becomes a consuming fire to those who hate you. Paul reminds the Roman believers in chapter 12, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals of fire on his head. In other words, kindness is the quality which consumes the evil devised by Satan. When an enemy encounters kindness, especially from an adversary, he can't bear it. Not only does it cause personal shame, or embarrassment, or humiliation, he is also unable to function in an environment where kindness reigns. Evildoers are so totally focused on their own selfishness, which always causes pain to others, that to be in the presence of those who choose to put others first is mental torture to them. Neither do they have the power to wreak havoc through their selfishness when they are in the presence of people who are selfish. While conflict, flattery, carelessness, and evil may be some of the main tools that Satan carries around in his toolbox, peace and kindness are two of the foremost tools in God's toolbox. And these are the tools that he uses to defeat his enemies. God isn't some sort of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, acting one way on one occasion and a different way on another. He has promised to crush Satan and to consume his enemies with fire. Unfortunately, we have often misinterpreted many of those scriptures because we expect God to act like we would. And we think power and force is the answer to everything. But for God, peace is his hammer, and kindness is fire. With his peace, he takes away all the power of his enemies, and with his kindness, he consumes them. Evil is no match for love. It has never had a chance of putting up a fight. Evil can neither defeat love nor overcome it. Because love is the most powerful force in the universe. Make no mistake about it. God will conquer every single one of his enemies. But he will conquer them not by might and not by power, but by his Spirit of peace, kindness, and self-sacrificing love.